Hey, oh, oh my god, my voice. Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and please excuse my voice. I'm just getting over like a little throat cold, which is just great time because we've just started filming Uncharted: The Oxford Redemption, so I'm kind of like Croaky Drake at the moment. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, directed by Christopher McQuarrie and starring the king of hefty insurance forms himself, Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt. Now, Chloe and I were fortunate enough to attend the Sydney premiere with Tom Cruise, Mr. McQuarrie, Simon Pegg, Hayley Atwell, and Pom Klementif in attendance. And of course, a massive thank you as always to Paramount for the invite. So much so, we also got to wish Tom Cruise a happy birthday and sing him a happy birthday in the audience. So anyway, the basic premise of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity if it falls into the wrong hands. Now, with the control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than the mission, not even the lives of those he cares about. This film seems like it's... This film seems like it's been in production for the longest time. Obviously, production took place during COVID. We also had a bit of a delay because of COVID. But now we're finally here, and I can safely say that this is one of the most solid installments in the franchise. It's just long. Like, really, really long. As the synopsis says, there is a device, in this case a two-piece key, that can unlock the ability to essentially have weapons turn on their owners, i.e. missiles, torpedoes. I think the biggest draw card with the MI series has been the well-crafted storytelling paired with some incredible set pieces. And of course, death-defying stunts. Constantly upping the ante, and once again, the madman Tom Cruise has done it. Riding a fucking motorbike off a ramp on a cliff face and parachuting down to the ground. Keep in mind, I still think his halo jump from Fallout is one of the most batshit crazy things he's done, not to mention being strapped to the side of a plane. I would actually love to see how thick the insurance paperwork is for when Tom Cruise is going to do a new Mission Impossible. I think at one stage they're sending him up to space, so good luck. Now, the action is beyond fine. It's upped once again. I just feel a well-crafted story this time around becomes a little convoluted and tangled in itself at times. The constant explanation to the audience towards the end of the film was a bit distracting. And at one point you have a character telling their plot twist to S.A. Morales' character of Gabriel, and I'm just sitting there the whole time like, dude, I get it, please just shut up. McQuarrie and his writing partners have injected something that's very prevalent these days into the plot. That just didn't work for me. It's gonna work for other people, it just didn't bode well with me. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it, but it'll be interesting to see what everyone thinks once the film's out and about doing the rounds. Hayley Atwell is a very welcome addition to the franchise, and it's nice to see her doing something like this. Like, she's definitely had practice for this, as well as Pom Klementif, who actually takes a back seat in the dialogue department, as opposed to her character of Mantis in the Guardians films. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames, I adore in these films, and I wish they had a bit more screen time in this one. And yes, they're mostly the tech guys off to the side helping out, but if they had their own spin-off series, you're damn right I'd watch it. And don't get me wrong, when Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie get together, they make fucking magic. Again, I just feel the magic gets a little muddled and bogged down in the third act. But once the going gets going, with a final act that takes place on a train that literally had Chloe and I white knuckling it on the chairs we were sitting in. Like, to the point of frustration, because the action was just that intense. But I see it as a good thing. It's affecting you, and that's what film is supposed to do. Of course, being a part 1, it does indeed end on a cliffhanger. Not this one. But story-wise, it definitely does. And of course, I'm keen to see how they wrap up this particular storyline. The film clocks in at 2 hours, 40 odd minutes. And I really do feel they could have shaved a few minutes off here and there with a few scenes. They kind of just dragged on a bit. I just felt, okay, it's time to wrap up, move on to the next scene. And granted, some people will make that argument, hey, it's longer entertainment, I'm fine with that. Sure, but you also know when it's time to wrap up a scene because your mind starts to wander, or there's way too much exposition and almost loses you and takes you out of the illusion. Too much exposition at times aside, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a masterclass in action, and once again upping the ante with all of the cast giving solid performances. The score and sound design were incredible, and as soon as that Mission Impossible theme hits, it hits bloody hard. I would have loved to have seen some more screen time with a few characters, but hopefully that's the case with Part 2. We'll see. The action set pieces, whether it's a car chase that winds up in a small Mr. Bean-like car, a nightclub fight, and of course the bike jump and train chase, they've done it once again. This film was a reminder why I love going to the movies and just being immersed in a world where for a couple of hours you forget everything else. Dead Reckoning definitely took me back to those 90s action flicks, just bombastic, batshit crazy spectacle films. And at this stage, Fallout is definitely my favorite in the entire franchise. I just felt it balanced the action and the storytelling better, plus Henry Cavill reloading his arms. And so with that, I'm going to be giving Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Mark 1, Volume 1, Chapter 1, 4 Mavericks out of 5. It was a tough one. I was leaning into the 3.5 Mavericks out of 5 with the storytelling aspect of this film, but just that aside, the action, the spectacle, just this is why we go to the movies, and that really bumped it back up to a 4. And hopefully you guys dig it. Grab yourself a big ass box of popcorn and enjoy. Love you guts, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.